Hi, I'm Rich Stropik, and I'm with our music director, Roberta Sheminsky, and we're discussing the problems that exist with our Allen organ that have accumulated over the years, and also why we have purchased a new Allen 336 digital organ. Our Rogers organ was built on or about 1981. It's an analog organ, meaning it uses electronic circuits of transistors, capacitors, resistors, etc., to imitate the sound of a pipe organ, whereas the Allen 336 organ uses digitally recorded pipe organ samples and advanced processing to produce the sound. So instead of imitating a pipe organ with circuitry, as an analog organ does, the Allen digital organ actually replicates a sound from actual sound sampling. The Allen Company built the world's first digital organ in about 1971, took a 3-year project. It was based upon computer technology developed for the NASA Apollo space program, and original digital organ is now on display at the Smithsonian. Turning to the Rogers organ, how long have you been playing this now?
Since 2008, so 18 years.
You've got a lot of experience with that. So one of our key problems that have developed over time is associated with the presets. Want to describe what that's about?
Sure, the presets are these buttons that are located right below the manuals. And what a preset does is I can turn a key over here, I can put down the stops that I want to be preset, and then when the time comes when I need to make a quick change in the music, I can push the preset button and those stops are supposed to come down.
But what actually happens
is they're not reliable. They don't perform the way they were set.
Sometimes they'll trigger correctly and halfway through the piece they won't. They won't perform correctly for you.
Most often they don't perform correctly.
So you kind of feel like you're a duck, serenely pedaling across the surface, but then you're having to paddle like crazy underneath, changing the settings as you go.
It does affect what you want to do with the music. If you want a certain sound or if you need to go from one color quality to another color quality, it's very difficult to do that.
And it's not reliable even when you try. So we've been talking about the presets and how they're not working correctly, but sometimes you really don't want presets in there and you want to cancel them completely. And you've mentioned you've had trouble with the cancel button.
Yes, the cancel button is located down here so that when you're playing you can just easily hit it. But what it does is it instantly releases all of the stops that you've set and cancels them. So if I push this, well, the pedal stops came up, but nothing on the grate. Well, there the swell came up. And so I end up pushing and pushing and pushing, and finally I just have to
lift them by hand.
Get them off.
Well, I think that's a problem.
It can be. It's annoying.
Some of this has been obviously related to the mechanical contacts in the back. And I know the technicians have messed with that and with limited success. You want to describe that?
You said in your introduction that this is an analog instrument. So they actually have to make a physical contact, electrical contact, in order for the sound to be initiated. And those stops or the contacts have become sticky. So they don't release when they're supposed to release. And in the past, when we've had it repaired probably 2 or 3 times, the technician, who's very, very knowledgeable, his fix has been to go get little pieces of toilet paper and put between the connections so that they don't stick. So that's very, very high-tech
solution
knowledge,
to the job. Yeah, got it. And haven't you also had some issues with the crescendo pedal of adding stops without asking it to?
Yes, the crescendo pedal, as you said, Rich, adds stops. So if I am playing this chord and I push the crescendo pedal, so you can hear
It'll add stops.
Yeah, it'll gradually add
But what
stops.
happens sometimes is without your foot being on the crescendo pedal,
sometimes it just adds a few stops.
Without your asking it to.
Right.
Got it. Tone quality. You've had some issues with tone quality on some of the stops. You were showing me something with the flutes, wasn't it?
Yes. On the swell, which is the upper manual, there's a stop that imitates the sound of a roar flute. I'm going to put this. And on the grate, which is the lower manual, there's a stop that imitates the sound of a Spitzflöte, which is made out of a different material. It's a different shaped pipe. But if you listen to the two flutes,
No
they
difference.
sound virtually the same.
Yeah. So it really isn't replicating the pipe organ per se in this case at all.
Not really. It's very limited.
You know, the other thing we've been told by the technician is we're getting sag in our tuning, that he can't, it's not like tightening a string on a piano.
Right.
You have to go in there and rebuild the circuit to do that. And what he's told us is that the capacitors necessary to retune this thing have become very difficult to locate.
Well, impossible, really, because the people who created this technology and built this technology are no longer alive. And there's nobody else who knows this technology. We've gone way past it.
We have. When playing the organ, sometimes we hear a clunking sound coming from the foot pedals.
Oh, yeah.
What's that about?
I'm going to turn off the stops for the pedals so you can just hear the clunk.
It just needs to be rebuilt and put new pads on? Is that what has to happen?
Yeah. But the good news about the clunk is that if Pastor ever preaches a sermon on the Valley of the Dry Bones,
Yeah, you can supply the sound effects.
We've got the
There
sound
you go.
effects.
Yep. But when all's said and done, you know, it's just a limited instrument. It's well dated now, and you're just not able to produce the kind of sound that could be used to really enhance our worship service. Well, thank you for your time, and I appreciate what you've been able to relay to us.
Thank you, Rich.
Have a good day.